This is James, a back row and one of the longest standing athletes at the Strength Solution. He's coming off the back of one of his best seasons yet. He's stepped up 3 divisions, he's put in multiple man of the match performances, scored tries left, right and centre, but like most rugby athletes, he knows that he's got more in the tank and he wants to realise that potential this off-season. That's why over the next 16 weeks, we're going to be taking you through his whole off-season and pre-season protocol. We're going to be giving you the inside scoop into his training, his nutrition, and everything that he's doing throughout this time to step up and become the go-to player next. This series is going to show you exactly what it takes to become stronger, fitter, faster, and more powerful and become the best rugby player you can be. This is episode 1 of a long journey where we're going to document step by step the different things that go into becoming the best athlete. This is episode 1 and we're kicking off with baseline testing. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
The first thing we do with any athlete before we start the program design process is we test. We run our athlete through an assessment process. Why is that? Because high performance isn't guesswork and it doesn't happen by chance. What gets measured gets managed, and the scores that we get today will influence all the decisions we make throughout the program. This testing battery has been designed to do 2 things. Number 1, highlight the strengths of the athletes, but most importantly, number 2, expose the weak links in the chain for this athlete. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and throughout this test, we are going to highlight those deficits, which mean that we can highlight the biggest areas for improvement throughout this process to make more progress in less time. So what are we going to be testing today? Well, we're looking at 17 key metrics that span across 5 key areas of athletic performance: strength, speed, explosive power, robustness, and body composition. These 5 areas are going to be the biggest areas of improvement that you as a rugby player can chase this off-season. This is going to allow us to build precision when it comes to the program design process, which is going to allow you to be confident in the work that you're going to put in this off-season. When we get to each test, we'll explain exactly how to do it, what we're looking for, and ultimately what you need to do to make sure that you're building the best off-season yet. Let's go. So the first test that we're going to be doing with James for this off-season testing is a body fat test. We're going to measure his body composition because as an athlete, body composition isn't just this vanity metric that we should chase. It's not about just having a six-pack, even though that may be great and needed for your position. For us, we're going to dive a little bit deeper in this body composition score because we know that it has implications on athletic performance that everyone needs to pay attention to. Carrying around extra body fat for the sake of it is going to kill your performance. Fat doesn't fly. So from a speed and momentum standpoint, if you're carrying unnecessary body fat, you're going to not be as effective coming into collisions and actually getting around the park. We know from a lower body power production standpoint, if you've got too much body fat, your jump height is going to tank, which means your lower body power is going to tank alongside that. So we need to monitor that. And from a conditioning standpoint, if you was to go run 10 kilos, just carrying a weight in your hand, how much harder would that be? And that's the same for body fat. Fat doesn't contract. So we want to make sure that we're optimizing our body comp for our position to make sure that we can be strong, fit, fast, powerful throughout the season. And the biggest thing for us, we know that athletes with greater body fat mass has been shown in the research to increase the chances of missing a game by 3.3 to 3.5 times the amount versus having your body composition in check. And we know the best ability of an athlete is availability. So we're going to make sure that James is having the correct nutrition intervention alongside his training program to support performance, maintain an optimal body composition, and that is going to be key for performance. So we're going to get into that now. James is going to step on the scale, we're going to get a number, and we're going to hit it from there. Big question is, what do you think you're going to be weighing in? Body fat percentage?
I reckon 15.
15% is it?
Hopefully.
Go on, pull the top up, mate. Let's see. Oof.
We are chubby.
Fat percentage.
Oh, no way.
25.5. What were we last time?
26.
Yeah, muscle mass has gone up though. Disappointed, brother.
Yeah, it ruined my fucking morning. That
So first thing that we're going to be doing is a little bit of a warm-up. The way that this actual testing battery runs, you don't need to do too much of an extensive warm-up as you're going through this because the movements actually prepare you for the next thing to come. But what we're going to look to do in this warm-up is start to build a little bit of rhythm, plyometric nature, and just get used to that body moving nice and fast. So we'll start with a plyometric series, and we're just going to start with some pogo hops to start with. We're just going to be going 5 meters, hands on hips, and we're just going to bounce across. Good, and walking back. So what I want to see a little bit more of now is don't put as much effort into this, like to jump as high, but just think about being nice and quick off the floor and just attacking with your feet, okay? We're going to go, yeah, that's it, good. Little short, sharp strides. Try and travel a little bit more distance throughout this. Good, and walking back. Now all we're going to do is we're going to take that same exercise, we're going to split the stance a little bit, and we're going to push more off that back leg for me, okay? Good, walking back, same again, other side. Good. We're just going to do a little simple alternate ankle pogo. We're going to keep our hands on our hips and we're just going to trying to think about, as we hit the floor, we're sinking into that knee a little bit as well, so we're getting a little bit more glute involvement rather than purely relying on the ankle. So one of the things that you'll see there, as you were landing, you were kind of really on that forefoot and you was on that front part of the foot. What we want to try and think about doing is landing mid-foot. So rather than being all the way forward, we want to kind of bring that and just attack with the middle of the foot. So what you get there then is get a little bit more pop. You get a little bit more pop off either side and generate a little bit more force, okay? Good. Attack that floor, mid-foot. Good, pop, 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 every single time. Good, much better there. Final one that we'll do in this little rudiment series is we're gonna go hops, put it into use. Want it to be a nice and aggressive attack in the floor here. Good. Good, walking back. Good, come on, attack that floor, attack that floor, attack that floor, attack that floor. Good. Real good job on that heel recovery there, picking up through. If you are struggling to find that you can cycle that leg through fast, all I want you to think about doing if you're following along is just smaller steps. You don't need to try and jump as high. The more force you put into the floor, the harder it is to whip that through because you've got more force to deal with the next time. So if you're coming, James, do a little bit of a demo of that. Do like 3 reps where you're attacking that floor, jumping nice and high. So the amount of force that he's putting in there is a byproduct of how well he can handle that force. If you can't, just think smaller, just trying to handle that forces. So next thing that we're going to be looking at as we go through this is our A series. So we're going to start off, we're just going to kind of come hands overhead. We're going to start to drill that lumbo-pelvic control and we're just going to march. Just thinking about putting that speed into the floor. Look at that. That's 25%. That's that body fat percentage earlier. Get that foot attacking nice and high. There we go. Good. We'll just go for a little bit more of an aggressive switch now then. So it's there. Let's go. Good. How's that feeling?
That's better than fucking skip the boat.
I was going to say it looks a lot better. So all we're going to do, we'll start up here. We'll get a little bit more range on this now. So as we're coming in, we'll just build up a little bit longer and we'll just building through. Just try and think about staying up tall. So the first test that we're going to be running through today is going to be your 10-meter sprint. Now, if you're forward, you're going to have a 1-meter build-in. If you're back, you're going to have a 10-meter build-in. Now, what that does is changes the dynamics a little bit. We're going to measure more max velocity for the backs and we're going to measure more acceleration for the forwards, as that's normally the quality that you're going to have in that position group. But essentially, what we're going to use is this number to build your momentum. And like we said, momentum is the biggest predictor of gainline success. And all that is how quickly you can shift your body weight. So James was 95 kilo today, and that just goes into the equation alongside our speed score, which tells us how fast we're moving. So we're going to do 3 little build-ins to get used to that start position, because this is going to be a big thing for him, because we're going to be going for a 2-point start. So we're just going to be standing, and then we're going to build into it with that time that we've got, okay? So we're going to work through that now, and then we're going to get some scores on the doors for him, and we're going to see how fast Mr. Mir actually is. So all we're going to do to start off with, we're just going to get used to that movement. So we're just going to come in, and what I want you to think about as we're doing this is I want you to think about just getting all that weight pretty much on that front foot. So whichever foot you're most comfortable with. And to be able to make sure that we do that, we're just gonna stand on that leg. So everything's coming forward. Then, as we're there, we're just gonna pop that back foot down. We're gonna load into the holster on the other side. And then we're just gonna accelerate out and go, okay? All I want is 3 hard steps to start off with, just working on that drive phase, and then we'll see where we need to get to then. Load that holster, get that weight coming forward, and go. All I want you to think about on this one is you're doing a good job of orientating your body position that way. Let's try and think about getting that knee position coming forward. So as we're there, we're really trying to drive that knee over, and there'll be a point in time where as you let that knee come forward, come forward, come forward, come forward, come forward. There'll be a point in time where you want to feel like you're going to come forward. That's when you just let it go out the holster, okay? So rolling forward and go. The slowest 10-meter time known to man. What we're going to do is we're going to perform 3 maximal effort sprints. We're going to have ample rest between like 60 to 90 seconds. We're only going 10 meters. We don't need to rest too long, but that's just going to give us enough that full recovery so that we can come in and learn from everyone. What I'm expecting, first rep, it's going to be the slowest. Second rep, we get faster. And then third rep will be shit or bust whether you'll actually get that time that you said. Having that marker to beat is one thing. If you don't have access to the timing gates that we're using or anything like that, you can simply handheld record this. Set up a tripod and try and get the place where either cone is in shot. So this is normally done on landscape. And then what you can do is you can then just scroll the little bottom photo bit, see what time you start the sprint and what time you finish. Max effort now, big boy, let's go. (164). Told you, slow. It's like a slug and jam. 164, slide in. One thing that we're going to look at here as well is we're actually going to film his sprint as well. It's one thing having subjective data like this that says he moves at a certain speed, but how he actually produces that speed is a vital thing for athletes as well. Is he someone that cuts his drive phase short? Does he put a lot of force into the ground? Does he overstride? There's so many different things that come into actually producing a fast athlete. So not only do we want to see the objective data, we want to see the subjective as well, because those are things that will influence and dictate exercise selection throughout this whole process. So I'm just going to film this one now. Ready when you are, big dog.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Did he nearly take her out then? Like, bro.
I was going for that.
What I want to see from yourself is allow that back hip to extend a little bit more. So at the minute, you're worrying about how quick you can pedal the feet and how fast those feet move, as opposed to how much force can you put in the floor. If you think about your glutes, those big hip extenders, we want them to be able to do their job. You'll get into this part, and then you're whipping that through. So you're relying on hip flexor, as opposed to getting to a point where you're fully extending and getting that hip through. Like, this is just something that resisted sprints and things will help with, but for the time being, all I want you to think about as you're coming through this now, you just let yourself extend fully and really push into that flow, okay? Yeah. 159, 159, one little cue. For the guy that said, bring in your young athlete, the guy that's rapid, the one that's actually fit to do these tests. Well, I'm gonna go in cold, and I'm gonna do a 10-meter sprint, and I'm gonna prove you motherfuckers wrong. I am an athlete. I am an athlete. Come on then. Oh my God, no way. I got one more, uno más. Oh, see, I did a lot of runs yesterday, actually, believe it or not.
Whoever told you to bring a younger, fitter model in is right.
I'm going to be seeing a 1.5 on there. Easily, 1.59. Calling it now. Calling it. What was it? 163? Dog. 163? You had a 1.7, 1.64. I'll chuck the cleats on Cole, baby. Killer, killer. So next up, we've got our power profiling. So we've gone all the way to the one end of the force velocity curve where we're looking at purely velocity. Now we're going to do our speed strength profiling, which we're going to use 5 jumps. We're going to be using the counter movement jump, squat jump, drop jump, Abalakov and broad jump. These jump metrics are going to paint the picture into how James produces his force, and we're going to get a measure of lower body power. So throughout this, what was your best ever? 56. 56.
I think.
63. First jump that we're going to do is plain and simple, is going to be the counter movement jump. So counter movement jump, we're going to stand hands on hips. We're not going to use the arm swing, and we're just going to dip down, up as high as we can. So our goal with this is to just have one to build up, and then we'll go every 30 seconds trying to build to a max height. You're going to get 2 jumps total, but we're going to have 2 warm-up jumps purely for this one, and we'll take it from there, okay? So stand on. 40 centimeters, 43. The YouTube comments are coming for me. Come on then, max height, rip this up. 45 first jump, okay? Same principle again. What we're going to actually do, so we're going to film this and we're going to see how he jumps, because everyone's got a different jump style. I'm very much a hingy jumper where I'll throw my chest forward. Other people are a bit more quad, where they can get into their ankles and use their quads a little bit more. So it all depends. Next up, let's go. 45. Rip it, come on. Oh shit. Yeah, 43. So we'll take the average of that, 43, CMJ, 45, 43 equals 44.
-1, that's free, quick maths.
So the CMJ has been correlated with improvements in that 10 to 20 meter sprint time, which is super valuable for athletes, and it's something that we haven't necessarily tested here today. So having another metric that maybe bleeds onto that is one thing that's going to be super useful. The next jump that we're going to be looking at is the squat jump. Now what you will notice is James had a self-selected squat depth. As he came down, dipped, give us a little bit of an example. So as he comes down, bit more, this is where he was finding on his counter movement jump. That is the position that we're going to need him to pause in for the squat jump, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to hold this position for 4 seconds, and then we're going to jump as high as we can. So have a relax there. What this test does is that 4-second pause takes away that elastic energy that you've stored in that dip of the jump, which means that you rely on concentric power to get out of that jump. And what that's going to do is calculate his elastic strength deficit, which tells us, is he more an elastic athlete or is he concentric power? Raw fucking steel. We'll see. We're just going to do 2 of these. Our max effort from the start. So as we come down, dip, 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 dip. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40 centimeters.
So what's the difference? What difference would you expect to see between these 2 jumps?
So it depends on the athlete that we've got, and that's why it's actually super useful to do the testing. For someone like myself, in my earlier days when I was powerlifting, where I was just worrying about how much maximal force I could produce to actually stand the weight up, my CMJ and squat jump were pretty much identical. And that just goes to show that I've maximized that kind of concentric base that I've got, but you get some really, really, really twitchy athletes, the people that are normally faster, things like that, that will have massive discrepancies in this. So what we're trying to aim for is to just understand that deficit point, because it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It just tells us a little bit more about that athlete. If you're a forward prop that needs to get more concentric power, we'd want to narrow that gap. If you're someone that plays the game in wider spaces, like you coming into 7 season, we want to try and make that gap a little bit bigger so we can start to use those
like
forces.
A bit more twitchy.
100%, 100%. Right, last jump for this one.
Yeah.
Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is Mike weighing me down.
What?
This is Mike weighing me down.
Yeah, all 3 grams of it. So 38 on that one, which equals nice little round number 39. So, happy with those so far?
Yeah, CMJ could have been done with being higher, but...
Yeah, but the thing is, we'll use the arm swing one, because I think that's what we measured the last one off. So the Abalakov. We now need a 12 centimeter box. What we're going to be looking at now is the drop jump. Now this is going to be a measure of RSI, which is basically how well you handle oncoming forces to put them back the other way, right? So this test itself has been positively correlated to dominant collisions in rugby. So like improving this number is a very, very good number for us to improve. The test, hands on hips. All we're going to do, we're going to step off with one foot, but we're going to land on two. And the job is spend as little time on the floor as possible and jump as high as possible. So what we'll look at now, if we go, can you see the scores on there? So we're looking at 3 different numbers. We've got the RSI, which is 2.64. We've got the ground contact time, 205. We've got the jump height, 36. It's vital that we look at all those scores to make sure that we get a full picture on how James jumps. Best one yet. 234. It's not the best one yet, but 2-2.
2-2.
So we're gonna have a little bit of a rest. We're gonna do one more of those. Our job, make sure that we spend less time on the floor. So that was 2 seconds on the floor.
Yeah.
Let's get that number down for me, okay? Because I think we jumped 33 centimeters, which was quite nice there.
We get quick there.
Have a little bit more rest.
Yeah.
Don't stand up there, dog. You're looking taller than me now. You're fucking dwarfing me. Not that short. Right, we'll connect them up.
Ready?
Ready when you are. Hands on hips. 291, much better. So he jumped higher, spent less time on the floor. That's perfect, which means we're gonna go up now and we're gonna go up to an 18-inch box, which is another 6 on top of that. Banging. 287.
Yeah.
183. Let's try and now, without changing anything, jump higher. I don't want you to spend longer on the floor. I just want you to try and jump as high as we can now. That ground contact time is really fast. Let's try and make sure now that we can kind of push on. Ready when you are. So we jumped higher, spent a little bit longer on the floor then. Another 2.8, but that's 2 good scores. So what we've done there is we've gone up 6 inches. Now, what we're gonna try and do is see that point of drop off in his jumps. Now, he jumped 33 centimeters on a 12-inch box, 35 centimeters on an 18-inch box, and his RSI stayed pretty much identical throughout that period of time. So we're gonna jump up another box height, we're gonna go to 24 inches, and we're gonna see if we can maintain that. If things start to hit the fan, we're gonna stop the set, but essentially what this does is gives us a gauge on what we wanna actually use for our testing going forward then.
I feel tall.
Now he's fucking dwarfing me up, yeah. So that score there was 248. He jumped 5 centimeters less and he spent 0.2 seconds longer on the ground. So we're going to do one more of these, and this is probably going to indicate that if we was to perform depth jumps and things in training, this box, a bit too high for us. Last one. Yeah, same again, 248. So now that we've done the drop jump, the next jump that we're gonna look at is the Abalakov jump. And this is just gonna be your maximal height that you jump throughout this, okay? With an arm swing, it's gonna tell us a little bit more about that total lower body power that you can produce, which is vital as an athlete. And like I said, with the speed testing, this number is gonna be indicative of your body weight as well. So as he's dropping body weight, we expect him to jump higher, but we need him to jump high enough with regards to that body weight loss that his power score is creeping up throughout this as well. So remember, if you're gonna lose 5 kilos, you're gonna jump higher naturally. Does that mean that you've improved your lower body power output? No, it means that your relationship with gravity is a lot less. So we wanna try and make sure that we're driving that number up. So Abalakov jump, standing on, stand tall.
Rev it up.
Rev him up, hot dog. 51 to beat, come on.
Sit. How many of these? 2 or 3?
2.
Sit.
2 max effort jumps.
Yeah.
Don't waste them. So that was a 50 centimeter jump. You can do better than that, big dog.
I was going forwards more than anything.
I know. So we're gonna do 2 more. I'm not gonna trust that one.
You put the pressure on.
Put the pressure. Look. All I'm saying is, if you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen.
Ah, fucking shit.
48 centimeters.
I don't like the look of this.
Mogged. Mogged. All on the line. He's back. 50. So we've now ticked off 4 out of the 5 jumps, and they've all been in the vertical plane, which is one of the most important things for sport. We want to try and measure that vertical force production, but as another tool for this, we're going to be using the broad jump, and this is going to be our 5th and final jump of our speed strength analysis, and we're going to be using this to measure horizontal force production. So rather than how high can you get those hips, how well can you project those hips, and this is going to be very, very good for that acceleration based mechanics, and improving this normally leads to improvements in that sprint time as well. So we're going to do 2 jumps here. We're going to jump, we're using the app called My Jump Lab for this one, so if you want to follow along, make sure that you film it, pop the details in there.
That's near enough the same, I think.
We'll do final analysis point. My Jump Lab.
Have a look at this bad boy.
Horizontal jump.
I haven't seen how you do this actually.
So, place a marker on top of your head. Here. Another one on your feet. Enter the height below. What are you in centimeters?
So 183 maybe, I don't know.
183. .226.
Ah, further than I thought.
So, that is speed strength analysis done, which is the fast part of the session. Now we're going to move on to my favorite area. That is going to be strength. Strength is the mother of all qualities, and I believe strength is the solution, and I think that's the thing that's kind of got you to the point where you're at today. The test that we're going to be running through, we're going to be running through the back squat, which is predominantly the KPI lift for the majority of rugby players that they should be chasing. We're going to be looking at the bench press. We're going to be looking at the chin up for max reps. Yeah. Now, you've been having an ongoing shoulder issue with the bench press, haven't you?
Yeah, just a little one.
So, last one that we hit was 100 kilos, which was
December, was it?
December's team
Christmas
training day. So, whether we're there, whether we're not, that's one thing. We've had a long, long season since then. Back squat, best ever, 200 double body weight. And then we're looking at chin ups. What's your best max rep set?
I don't actually know. I don't think we tested it.
Okay. So we're going to have a little bit of a look at this. Those kind of tests, we've got a little bit of an idea of a benchmark of what we should be aiming for. But ultimately, the off-season or the in-season is going to kill your performance just because you have to switch a priority from how much you can do in the gym to how well you perform on the pitch. So what we're going to look at today is getting an accurate number for Jim's today, where he is right now at this time of the season. And I have no doubt that he's going to shit all over this come 16 weeks time, really.
16 weeks? When's that start season?
Yeah.
Tidy.
Let's get into it. First things first, we got the back squat. We are going to be building up to a 1 rep max, and we're going to be using a 20x0 tempo, which we want to try and be consistent throughout this. We want to compare apples to apples throughout this test, so that tempo is vital. Now, when we're building up to the 1RM, we want to make sure that we're not shooting ourselves in the foot by doing too many warm-up sets or too few. This is one of the things that kills progress in these tests, is they come in, they'll do, if they've got a 1 rep max of say 100, they'll do 8 sets above kind of 80%. You're just killing your energy. So you want to have a rough guide of that number that you want to get at. We're pinning James to be around 190 today with that tempo. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slowly build up from there, but we're going to take as many jumps as we need to make sure that he's prepped and ready for that. And it's vital that we get an accurate score here, because we're then going to do an eccentric tolerance test, which is going to be fucking great fun for this, but we're not going to tell him what that is yet. It's a surprise. We want to try and be consistent with this. It's there, 1, 2, up. Get a little bit deeper than that as well, because that was
Because your squat depth is normal.
Yeah, but yeah, we're going to do 6 reps, and this is roughly 45% of that 1RM, and then we're going to build up from there with a set of 4, a set of 2, and then singles from there on out. 1, 2, up, good. Bring that speed on the way up. 1, 2, up, that's it, good. Good. Good.
Too busy counting 2.
Yeah, 120. 120. We use this number to compare across ratios across the whole program. So what we're going to try and do is utilize the high bar, full depth ATG style squat. This means that we travel through the greatest range and we can compare to the front squat, we can compare to the deadlift with the ratios that we've got inside the program that allow us to see his weak links in the chain. Set of 4, we're going to try and keep that tempo throughout, okay?
All the way through.
Trying to bitch out the tempo already. But 2 seconds is like the standard, that's what you'd normally squat with. So this is like your standard tempo. Up, good. Two more. Two reps, okay? But one of the things that people get disheartened about is if they try and test like this, James has done 200 before, if they come in and they try and test and they've detrained the skill of 1 rep max, and that number may be down. And that's completely fine because strength is a skill, back squatting is a skill. Being able to chuck that bar on your back, understand where to place your feet, brace well, and move coordinated throughout that movement is a skill. And doing that with a 1 rep max load requires even more skill. So throughout this could be a case of he hasn't really touched a heavy barbell for a while. We've done volume, we've been building other stuff, we've been using machines to manage that fatigue. So it'd be quite interesting to see where we get to today, whether that skill is too far removed or whether he's just actually built a lot of strength with other movements that are going to translate to him having a bigger back squat. Let's go. $175. How'd that feel?
Squatting faster than marathon.
I was going to say, we'll overlay the footage of when that was his 1 rep max at the marathon. Time slowed down 3 times. Dr. Strange went to the multiverse, had to pull him out of the one scenario that he actually made the lift. It was fucking horrendous. This is the key for any testing day, carbs, right? He's making it, he's making it. You like that? Bit of sausage everywhere. Bringing that juice now, 1 big set, okay? Speed through the middle. Come on then, James, come on. Up. Come on then, big dog. Lock this in now, big boy, lock it in, okay? That was the 1 rep max back squat. We had a good crack at 190, which is where we thought he'd be on the day. Moved a little bit better than we thought, so we pushed the boat out and we went for all-time PB at 202. Miss, folded, crumbled like a deck chair. Insert whatever phrase that you want here, but We'll use the 190 as the 1RM. He's built up a little bit of fatigue coming into this next set from having that 202 attempt, and we'll use that as the number to base for this next test, which is going to be the eccentric tolerance test. And essentially, you're going to take your 1RM, you're going to times it by 0.8, and this is going to give you the number that you're going to need to lift for a max rep set. This isn't just 1, 2, 3. We are going to go for as many reps as possible. The twist, we're going to lower down for 8 seconds throughout this. Now that 8-second tempo will focus more on how much limit strength we have. Now we know that the back squat is limited by how much force you can produce on the concentric. Well, with that 1RM, we've tested that. Now that 80%, lowering down nice and slow is going to test our limit strength. We know that we're stronger eccentrically than we are concentrically, and we're trying to put a number and quantify that so we can inform our decision-making process when it comes to training. So make sure that it is 8 seconds. This isn't a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4. If you've got a partner to call it out, probably best. If you've got a timer, we had one athlete stick a metronome in their ear and listen to it, which I don't recommend that you do, but you need to have a way of gauging that 8 second, and this is a maximal exertion test. We probably want to see you buckled at the bottom with the bar on your back. Come on, come on. Let's go, let's go. So the one thing that you want to try and make sure throughout this as well is the 8 seconds is a consistent tempo from start to finish. I don't want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then drop in for that last 2. We want to try and think about this as a full complete lift that takes 8 seconds from start to finish, okay? Ready? Go. Max reps. Let's go. What the fuck? Big deep breath in. Let's lock in, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Come on. You've got one more. Let's lock it in. Big deep breath. Speed out the bottom, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fight up and up. Go, 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 go. Come on, you got one more, one more. Let's go. Lock it in. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up. Come on, James. Bro, that spanked you then. So the eccentric tolerance test is done. Now, athletes are going to fall into 3 buckets, and we'll explain what those buckets mean for your program design next week. But essentially, this is a test that people are either going to suck at, they're going to do 0 reps, they're going to try and control it, and it's like someone just turns up gravity and they just sink to the bottom. You'll have athletes like James who fall in that mid bracket, who've maybe practiced a little bit more of this eccentric stuff, have a decent base of muscle mass, but they're not quite as effective as athletes in bucket 3 who can maybe do 6, 7 reps of 80% of their 1RM, which, you know, is a very, very, very good score if you was to not even put the eccentric stuff in there. So these buckets just allow us to identify what kind of style of contraction that we need to focus on for our athletes to make sure that they're developing going forward. We're going to be moving on to our bench press test. Now this is going to be the key primary upper body exercise that we're going to be looking at, which has direct correlations to kind of higher standards in rugby. So bigger benches normally correlate with better rugby players as well. So what we're going to be looking at now is building up to a 1 rep max similar to what we did. We don't have to worry about the eccentric tolerance test, anything like that. And we're going to be pushing on for the most weight that we can lift. So we're going to build up in the same protocol. We're going to take that 6-4-2 and then up in singles from there, just to make sure that we're building through that movement pattern, okay? Now, with this, we're going to superset with the chin-ups, but we're going to do those just before we start to get to those singles, so we have a little bit more time to kind of let that back relax for the top set of bench, okay? So this is going to be a superset that we're going to be running, and we're just going to push this on, see where we're going to go. And this, again, we're going to take that 2-second tempo, and we're going to use this to compare to the incline, overhead press and dip, because our shoulder moves to a full 180 degrees, so we want to make sure that we're strengthening through that as well. What we're going to be looking at now is the chin up. Now we're gonna go for a max rep set, 2 seconds on the way down, and we're just gonna try and aim to get 12. So we're gonna do a little bit of a warm-up set first, where we're gonna do 3 reps, and we're gonna use the neutral grip in that middle position, okay? So the chin up starts here, this position, arm fully locked out, feet off the floor, chin clears, and I want the shoulders to tap at the top, okay? So we just do a couple of reps now, just get used to that tempo. Up, 1, 2, up. You go a bit faster on the way down. 1, 2, up. Good, and relax there. So let's try and get a little bit more. So we're trying to tap those shoulders at the top. So what that looks like, as we're there, arm stretch. Yeah, you can laugh, but I can fucking... No, we'll have another set on bench. We'll do a set of 4 now. 2, up, good. 1, 2, good. 1, 2. 1, 2, good. Try 2 reps, getting that chin clean over and getting used to that feeling of being at the top, okay? Up, good, that's it, good. Control, up. That's perfect, good. So, one of the reasons why we actually use the chin, I know a lot of clubs will prefer the seal row where they'll chest support and they'll almost do the barbell bent over row, but they've got that pad in there. The reason why we use the chin up over that is nice and simple. Your shoulder travels through the largest range of motion that's available to it. So we want to try and strengthen through that full range of motion. A seal row doesn't necessarily do that too well compared to the chin up. So if we can load up in this range of motion, we're going to be building the most strong, stable and durable shoulder that is going to withstand collisions. And that, for me, is robustness for rugby. Sometimes it may be about those low load external rotations, kind of shoulder setting work, but a lot of the time it's picking exercises that strengthen your shoulder to the largest range of motion and progressively overloading those over a period of program to get the best results. 3, 2, 1, good. Up. 1, 2, come on, good. All the way up, chin clears. 3, that's it, perfect. 4, come on, up. 5, all the way, all the way, all the way. 6, good, control. Big pull, come on, up. All the way, all the way, all the way. We got 1 more, come on. Good, there's 7, up, big pull, finish strong, all the way through, chin clears, come on. 7 reps, 8th one, no bueno, but good shit, how was that? Nice. The reason why we're actually doing a volume-based test as opposed to a 1 rep max on the chins, 2 reasons. Number 1, we're going to be testing this with kind of 20 to 30 people in Cardiff on the 3rd of May. So 20 dip belts, quite hard to organize. So essentially we're just going to be stripping it down to a volume-based test. If we hit the 12 rep threshold, that's perfect. And it means that we have sufficient strength in our chin-ups to carry on pushing volume and just change the style of chin-up that we do to make things a little bit harder, so we don't necessarily just need to keep adding weight. So that's one thing that we're going to add in. But yeah, 7 reps, decent score. We're going to be building up now. I think we got 105 in the locker. That'll be big. 112 the best?
Yeah, never.
In marathon now, isn't it?
Marathon.
Fucking 3 years ago. Look at this man. Look at this man. Look at this man. Dav. Go on, give me one. Any words for James's bench?
James's bench. Don't be a pussy, mate. Don't be a pussy.
That's the words of Eberville's S&C coach. Sitting 2nd in the league at the minute.
2nd in the league.
All because of this man.
Yeah. Well, I'll take credit. I'll take it. I'll take it all.
You should do. Should do. Come on then. Uno mas.
Just 1, yeah?
Uno mas, yeah. Up. What are we thinking? Think 100, say?
Yeah, 100 definitely. Yeah.
Come on then. Pressing back to me, pressing back, pressing back, pressing back. Good money. Come on then, big dog. 3, 2, 1. Your bar, let's go. Lock him in. Pressing back, pressing back, pressing back, pressing back, pressing back. Come on. We're getting there, bro. 102.5 ticked off. So for James, you'll notice that as he's pressing his right side, we had a neural issue, had a stinger, never really settled down to a point where we noticed any real meaningful progress in a moment. But all that's happened is we built that up for months now. We hit like 40 kilos on it, couldn't do a press up to start off with, and it was purely because of that shoulder stinger. We've built up to a point now where his best ever was 112, with 10 kilos off that, which 10%, and that was 3 years ago, was it? Yeah, 3 years ago. So it's been a long road, but all the other exercises are kind of coming up. We're pushing that number up, so it's quite nice to see. But that is strength portion ticked off. So we've got our big primary upper body push, our big primary upper body pull, our primary squat pattern. Now our job is to assess more of the robustness and some of the key injury sites for the sport. So we're going to look at the shoulder, we're going to look at the lower back, and then we're going to look at the hips as well. So they're going to be the things for us that we're going to look at, and we're going to get on with it. Next test that we're going to do, Berenson-Sorensen. This is going to be a capacity test for the lower back, and we want to try and get a gauge to see which muscles work more throughout this. We know that the seat of good morning for yourself will struggle from a mobility standpoint. We've got some numbers there, so there's no point testing something that we know we're just not going to get the best score at. We'll just work on that. So this test is going to be a capacity test for the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings, and essentially we're going to lie you prone on the bench. I'm going to hold your feet down, and you're going to be dangling off the edge, right? So we want our hip bone to be right on top of this here, and then we're going to be the other side of that. I'm going to hold your legs down, you're going to hold yourself up. The goal is to maintain a horizontal for as long as possible, okay? 192 seconds is the target. We've had 2 people get there. So feet either side, the bench, there we go. And then get used to it a minute. Arms across your chest. Arms across your chest a minute. And relax. So that's the position that we want to see. We want to try and get your torso a little bit higher, and we're just going to hold this for a maximum amount of time, okay? Yeah, so like squeeze your bum, squeeze your lower back up. There, that's it, good. And relax. So that's going to be the position that we hold. You tell me when, okay? Go.
A few minutes later.
Let's keep holding that.
Lower back, more than anything.
Lower back. Glutes kick in much?
A bit, not a lot.
So it's purely lower back on that.
Mostly, yeah. The hamstrings are burning, but it's just like twitching going on my lower back.
Fair. So that test, not only do we want the time, we want the subjective around where that struggled most. So for James' lower back, that's going to be something that his strategy, you saw, was to arch really hard through rather than get the hips squeezed up, and everyone's got a different movement strategy. Everyone kind of does things differently, so we'll just use that, and that'll be like a little bit of an assessment tool for us then going forward, and we'll drive that up in the early phases of this. So that's going to be the lower body portion testing done. We're now going to be looking at the shoulders, more specifically the trap 3 and the external rotators. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is a trap 3 raise. And the goal here is to try and get up to 10% of your bench press for 8 reps, okay? Now, a lot of you are gonna struggle with this because it's a commonly neglected area, but that's fine. We use it to build the program. It doesn't matter about the result. We're gonna take 3 sets. We're gonna have a warm-up set where we're gonna perform 6 reps, 4 reps, and then we're gonna go for a max rep set then. The goal, support yourself in this position. Full range, control. 2 seconds on that way down, all the way up. Yes, we're going to build up to a 10% of your bench press, but we'll use the 2.5s first as a little warm-up set, so I want 4 reps. Go on. Get this foot back. There. So keep those hips nice and stable. Upper back pull toe. There. Now arm over. Hold. Down. Good. Up. Down. Good. And swap sides.
Does it matter where it comes back to? Does it matter where it comes back to? Like,
yeah, it's just got to come back down to that start position. Perfect. Good. Relax there. How do they feel?
alright. Don't think there's going to be many reps.
5 kegs now?
Yeah.
Give that a try. Right, lock in. Up. And down. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. And down. Good, keep that rhythm. And relax there. Cap that. So that range, we were struggling to get that end position as we got tired. Yeah. So we'll use that as data. Good. Keep that. Try and keep that elbow straight. Getting that shoulder to sit in that socket, and it's often normally neglected because a lot of people are kind of rounded forward using the upper trap, so we want to try and get something to isolate that lower trap there, and kind of that's the test for it. Make sense?
Yeah.
The goal.
Same weight or?
Trying to get up to 10. Use the 2.5 first, then we'll use the 5 and see how that moves, and then we'll take it from there. So we want to try and get that elbow on the inside there, slightly there. So that elbow is slightly lower than the shoulder. Then we want to rotate down. All the way, all the way, all the way. And up. Good. Try not to lose that shoulder position as we come down, okay? So it's come down, come down, come down, come down, and up. That's perfect. Good. Good. We'll go 2 more. Up. Last rep. Good, relax there. Swap sides. Good, relax there. This test is the external rotation with the elbow on the knee. Now, one of the things that you'll notice about that test, James actually struggled to get into the position and being able to maintain that hip position open and maintain that kind of trunk position that we want, which shows that this test may not be the best suited for him in terms of mobility. So we're going to change it slightly, and we're going to actually use an incline bench to just keep that arm position there. So we're going to be able to get there, arms at the side, elbow slightly lower, and then we're going to rotate up. The issue with this is we're going to have to find a position where we can get that full range of the shoulder and strengthen that up. So we're going to do that next with the 5s, okay? And this is just checking that external rotator strength, something that a lot of rugby players neglect and almost gets fucking battered to a crisp when you're playing the sport of rugby. So interesting. Come on then, big dog. So from there, test stays the same. We want to try and make sure that we're maintaining that scap position as we come down, up. Good. Up. Good. Swap sides. We'll go up to the 10s, is it? Keep that shoulder position maintaining full range, up. Good, try and keep that shoulder locked in so we're not throwing anything in. That's it, good. Up. All the way down, up. Try not to kick that chest into it so it's all coming through that shoulder. Rotate, 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 good. Keep that coming, keep that coming, keep that coming. Up. Good, keep that shoulder position there. Don't lose it, don't lose it, don't lose it. Come on. Control. Up, relax there. Up. Good. 1. There's 5, come on. Just keeping that locked in. Try not to let that shoulder roll too much now. Keep that locked in. All backside, backside shoulder, backside shoulder. 2 more. One more, come on. Good, relax there. 8 on one side, 11 on the other.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Right side feel weaker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still a side of the damage, but it's not too bad.
How are you feeling?
Good. Fucked, but good.
Good, good. So that is the testing day, all ran through for our buddy James. You will see that we tested a variety of different tests that screen all the key athletic areas that you need to worry about if you want to step up your performances on the rugby pitch. So all those tests paint a picture, and without having the results there, it's like missing pieces of the puzzle. You're never going to complete that full picture, which is building that perfect program for yourself. Missing pieces mean you're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. And remember, high performance isn't guesswork, and it doesn't happen by chance. But stick around for episode 2, where we're going to run through exactly what you need to do with those results and how to build your complete program this off season. Catch you in the next one. Peace.